Michael Hillsgrove's Child of Shadow, the first book in the Child of Shadow saga, is a work of fiction set in the early Sengoku period of Japan. The narrative follows Miki, a brave and perceptive young girl initially mistaken for a Miko. After a dangerous encounter, Miki's destiny intertwines with shinobi, monks, and samurai, leading her on a path of healing and unexpected challenges. The enhanced edition incorporates previously written short stories, expanding on Miki's experiences and her relationships with characters like the kunoichi Hisano and the monk Akaki. Miki's journey explores themes of identity, loyalty, and survival amidst political intrigue and warfare.
All right, listeners, get ready. We're about to head way back to feudal Japan. We're talking samurai, ninjas, the whole deal. And listen, this isn't some boring history lecture, okay?
Right.
This is about Miki, and she's an amazing young woman, and her story, it unfolds in Michael Hillsgrove's book, Child of Shadow.
Oh, this is a good one.
So we're going deep, right? We're unearthing her journey, figuring out how she deals with like danger and deception and all these crazy connections, and while she's doing all that, she's also trying to figure out like who she really is.
What I think is really fascinating here is that it's not just about following, the plot, right?
Right.
We're actually exploring like a whole society, feudal Japan with those like strict hierarchies and all their codes of honor, like Bushido and stuff.
Yeah.
All of that really shapes Miki's path. It's profound.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's unpack Miki's early life. So she's abandoned, right, as a baby, and she ends up being raised in this hidden mountain village with the Koga.
Oh, the Koga.
Yeah, those masters of stealth and espionage, the ninjas.
Exactly. It's not just any village, though. I mean, this is a world that's just like steeped in secrecy and survival. Imagine what that does to a child.
Yeah.
And get this, when she's only 6 years old, she like faces down a mother wolf.
No way.
Protecting her cubs. I mean, most kids, they'd be like terrified, right? But she's just like totally calm.
Yeah.
Almost unsettling,
Yeah, it really makes you think, like, is that bravery or is that just like something that the Koga way of life has like ingrained in her?
Yeah.
Because it's not even just fighting skills, right? It's like a mindset.
Absolutely.
It's like a way of assessing threats and reacting with like such precision.
Exactly. And this encounter kind of like foreshadows all the challenges she's going to face, throughout her life. This fearlessness, right? It's coupled with this natural talent she has for healing, and it catches the eye of a traveling Miko.
Oh, a Miko.
Yeah, a priestess. And she can just like sense Miki's potential. She's extraordinary.
Okay, so this is where things get really, really interesting, right? So the Miko, she takes Miki to this Buddhist temple and unveils a secret about her lineage.
Like family history, right?
Yeah.
And it turns out Miki's the last blood of the Urasada clan. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
They're this ancient samurai family. Everyone thought they were extinct. And you have to remember the samurai, right? They were the elite warrior class, bound by this strict code of honor.
Yeah.
Bushido.
Yeah, Bushido, right.
So for Miki, I mean, she was raised by the shadowy Koga, right?
Yeah.
So this heritage, it's like a huge internal conflict for her.
It's like she's caught between two worlds. Like
Right.
the disciplined, honorable samurai and then the stealthy, like adaptable ninja.
Exactly. Talk about an identity crisis, right?
I know, right. And so the temple becomes her like sanctuary.
Okay.
It's a place where she can like really hone her healing skills, but it's not just physical healing either. She develops this crazy ability to read people.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's this interaction with Hisano.
Okay.
And Hisano is this young girl that she meets at the temple. And Miki just like senses her emotions and her intentions before she even like says anything.
Really? So it makes you wonder, right? Is this like a learned skill or is it like something more, something intuitive, maybe even like supernatural?
Right. It's like she's tapped into like this deeper level of understanding about human behavior.
Exactly.
But this peaceful haven, it gets shattered.
Oh, yeah.
When Lord Yoshida, he's the governor, and his really ruthless General Satake, they attack the temple.
Wow. Think about the contrast,
Yeah.
The serenity of the temple, it's a place of healing and reflection, right?
Right.
And it's just brutally violated.
Yeah.
This event, it becomes a turning point, I think, in Miki's journey.
Okay.
Because it forces her to confront this, like, really harsh reality of the world outside the temple walls.
It's like she's going from like 0 to 60.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this crazy twist of fate, she ends up saving Lord Yoshida's life.
What?
Yeah, after he's wounded in the attack. You'd think that, like an act of mercy like that would earn her some gratitude.
You would think.
Right.
But not quite. Because you see, her connection to the Koga, the ninjas, right? I mean, they're seen as enemies of the state, and it instantly makes her a target.
Oh, wow.
It's a harsh reminder of how rigid the social structure was back then in feudal Japan.
Right.
The Koga, I mean, despite their skills, they were often seen as, like, outcasts. They were operating outside of, like, the norms of samurai society.
So even though she saved the governor's life, her background makes her, like, a suspect.
Exactly. And it gets worse. So Lord Yoshida, he dies. But he dies in an honorable duel, right? But Satake, that ambitious general, he sees an opportunity.
Oh.
And he frames the monks and Miki for murder. He just, like, weaves this web of deceit to advance his own power.
So he's not just a warrior, he's like a schemer.
Oh, absolutely. He's a master manipulator,
Yeah.
He exploits this whole situation for his own personal gain.
It's a classic power play.
Totally. And Miki, she's just this young woman with no political influence. She just becomes a pawn in his game.
So Miki is facing execution.
Yes.
Talk about high stakes. But she manages to escape thanks to this, like, mysterious young samurai and his wolf companion.
But it sounds like something out of a legend.
I know, right? And this escape leads her back to the Koga village, the place she thought she left behind.
Wow.
Yeah. So suddenly she's immersed in this world of, like, stealth, combat, survival.
Right back to where she started.
Yeah, it's a complete 180 from the peaceful life she had at the temple. But even though she, like, struggles at first, you can tell her strategic mind is, like, already at work.
Really?
Yeah, she starts impressing even the, like, seasoned Koga warriors with her, like, tactical thinking. You could almost see the wheels turning in her head, like, as she's adapting these ancient techniques to these new situations.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. And throughout all this, her bond with Hisano, that girl from the temple,
Right.
it deepens. Like, they become lifelong protectors. Their loyalty to each other, it's just forged in, like, shared danger and hardship.
Yeah.
And together, they embark on all these missions to expose corrupt officials and rescue hostages.
Wow.
I know. And they use, like, clever disguises and strategies, outsmarting their enemies at every turn.
It sounds thrilling, but also, like, really dangerous. I mean, they're facing danger from, like, rival ninja clans and ambitious samurai like Satake, right?
Oh, yeah. He still wants Miki dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
So their lives are just this constant balancing act, using their skills to fight injustice, but also, like, staying one step ahead of anyone who wants to silence them.
It's a high wire act.
Yeah.
And just when you think they've found, like, a little stability, the mystery around Miki's true identity, it deepens.
What do you mean?
Like, her healing skills, her knowledge, it all hints at a heritage that's, like, way grander than just, a simple Koga upbringing.
Yeah.
And then boom. The story reveals that her father, he might actually be the legendary mountain samurai, Lord Oto.
No way.
Yeah. This figure, this legend that everyone believed was dead.
Wow. This revelation just throws everything into question. Suddenly, all those whispers about her destiny, her being the last blood of the Yorosada clan, it takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah, this revelation just, like, sends shockwaves through Miki's world. But it raises so many questions for us, too. Like, what does this mean for her future? Will she embrace her samurai heritage? And what about her connection to the Koga? Will she be forced to choose between these two worlds?
Yeah, I mean, this is where we see Miki really evolving. She goes from being an outcast to, like, a leader.
Okay.
She finds herself in the river district.
Okay.
It's this, like, really poverty-stricken area in Yoran. And there, she uses her healing skills to gain the trust of the community.
Wow.
But you're right. This is just the beginning. Her journey is far from over.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me too. And we'll delve deeper into all of these questions the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we left off with Miki, the last blood of the Yorosada clan. She's kind of finding her footing in this river district, right? It's
Right.
like a world away from that hidden Koga village or that peaceful temple.
Yeah.
But even in this, like, impoverished area, she's still making a big impact.
Yeah, it's really important to understand the context here.
Mm-hmm.
The river district, it's like this tiny example of the inequality that was everywhere in feudal Japan.
Yeah.
They had this rigid social hierarchy, right? With the samurai at the top, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you had the farmers and artisans and merchants.
Right.
But at the very bottom, the Ita, the outcasts.
Oh, right.
I mean, they faced horrible discrimination. They were forced to live in, like, segregated communities. Awful.
It's hard to even imagine, like, a system like that, where you're just born into a social class and there's, like, no chance of ever escaping it. And yet here's Miki, you know, with her, like, complex heritage. She's got this Koga upbringing, but also this samurai blood.
Right.
And she's navigating all these societal boundaries. It's like she's challenging the very idea of where she belongs.
Absolutely. And she doesn't just, like, exist within the system. She actively tries to dismantle it.
Okay.
So in the River District, Miki uses her healing skills to earn the trust of the community. And she treats everyone who comes to her. It doesn't matter what their social standing is.
It's like this powerful statement, right?
Yeah.
Her compassion just goes beyond all those like artificial barriers.
Totally.
But you mentioned earlier that Miki is more than just a healer, right? She's also a strategist. How does that, like, play out in this kind of environment?
Well, her time with the Koga, it instilled in her this unique skill set. Remember, they were the masters of guerrilla warfare, espionage, unconventional tactics. And this is such a stark contrast to the samurai, who are all about honor and open combat.
So she's got this dual perspective
Exactly.
from both worlds.
Yeah.
But how does she actually apply this in the River District?
Well, we see her strategic brilliance come through as she navigates, you know, this treacherous political landscape. Corrupt officials, criminal gangs, they all underestimate her.
Yeah.
They see this young woman, a healer, right, and they assume she's an easy target.
Right.
But she outsmarts them consistently.
Yeah.
She uses her intelligence to protect the people she cares about, and often she's putting her own life on the line to do it.
It's like she's playing this, like, multi-dimensional chess game.
Totally.
She's anticipating her opponent's moves, but she's also staying true to her values.
Exactly. And you know, it's not about power for her. It's about using it to help those around her.
And her Koga training, it comes into play in these really unexpected ways. Like, remember that scene where she uses her knowledge of, like, herbs and poisons to create a distraction?
Oh, yeah.
So she and her allies could escape. It's just, like, such a brilliant example of how adaptable she is. She blends her healing skills with this, like, tactical cunning.
Well, she's amazing.
It's almost like she's weaponizing her compassion, turning her perceived weakness into a strength.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's no wonder that the people of the River District see her as this, like, symbol of hope, right?
Yeah.
But all of this, it comes at a price.
Oh,
Because there are those who resent her influence, her growing influence, especially those who benefit from keeping things the way they are.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, her success threatens the people in power. And the more she accomplishes, the more enemies she makes.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah. And Satake, now he's like a powerful general, right?
Great.
He's obsessed with destroying her.
Still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He sees her as a threat to the order, to the hierarchy. I mean, he even enlists the Iga to help.
Iga.
Yeah, the rival ninja clan.
Oh, right.
They're known for being ruthless.
So even in these, like, darkest corners of society, there's still these glimmers of light, right?
Exactly.
And those glimmers, they attract the attention of those who, you know, dwell in the darkness.
You said it. You know, and Miki's story becomes like a beacon.
Okay.
It illuminates the potential for change, even in a system that seems designed to, you know, keep people in their place.
Right.
But it's a dangerous game she's playing.
Oh, yeah.
And the stakes just keep getting higher.
And what about her relationships? Like, how does all of this affect her bond with Hisano?
Well, their friendship, you know, it was forged in hardship, and it faces its biggest test yet. Remember, Hisano, she sees the world through this, like, very Koga lens.
Right.
Loyalty, stealth, survival. These are her values.
Yeah.
And Miki's influence in the River District, her willingness to challenge the powerful, it creates this, like, rift between them.
So Hisano sees it as a betrayal of their shared Koga past.
You got it. It highlights this tension between, like, personal loyalty and a sense of justice. You know?
It's really fascinating.
Yeah. And this conflict is made even more complicated by Miki's forced marriage to Uji,
Oh, right.
the son of Governor Mitsuhide.
Yeah.
This arranged marriage, it's a strategic move, right? It's a political alliance that's supposed to bring stability to the province.
Right.
But for Miki, it's just another layer of complexity in her already, like, super complicated life.
And, this arranged marriage, it's not just a plot point.
Right.
It makes us ask, is Miki truly free? Even though she's gaining all this power and influence,
Yeah.
is she trading her own happiness for this, larger purpose? It's kind of like what so many women faced back then.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sacrificing their individuality for the sake of, societal stability?
Exactly. And Uji, he's like the opposite of Miki. He's a product of privilege.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiled, arrogant, totally oblivious to the struggles of ordinary people.
Right.
But it's interesting that even he can't help but be drawn to Miki's strength and compassion.
That is interesting.
Their relationship, it's definitely complicated. I mean, it starts out as this forced union, but it becomes something different.
Okay.
There's a subtle shift, and Iji starts to see the world through Miki's eyes.
Huh.
And Miki, well, she's always the teacher, right? She uses these moments to, teach him about leadership, about compassion, about standing up for what's right.
So she's, planting seeds of change.
Yeah, not just in the community, but in the heart of the ruling class.
But can those seeds actually take root in such a rigid society?
It seems almost impossible.
Yeah, that's the question that looms over everything.
Yeah.
Can one person, even someone as incredible as Miki, actually make a difference in a system that's so resistant to change?
It's a good question.
And remember, while she's dealing with all of this, she's also uncovering the mysteries of her past.
Oh, right.
We learned that her mother, Masako, she wasn't just an ordinary ama.
Right.
She was a skilled warrior, a protector of the Yorosada clan.
Wow. Okay, so that changes things. So Miki inherits her strength and compassion from both sides of her family.
It's true.
From the legendary mountain samurai and this fierce warrior priestess, it's like destiny is weaving everything together, bringing together these different threads to create something really extraordinary.
I love that. And as Miki uncovers these truths, she starts to understand her own identity, her place in the world.
Oh, okay.
But just as she's starting to embrace this, newfound awareness, tragedy strikes. That attack on the governor's mansion, during her wedding celebration, no less, it leaves the whole province in chaos.
It's like this harsh reminder that nobody is safe.
Right.
Not even on the day that's supposed to be filled with joy and celebration. And for Miki, I mean, she's already lost so much.
I know.
It's a devastating blow. It makes you wonder, how much can one person endure?
And that's the question we're left with as book one comes to a close.
Right.
We've seen Miki's journey from abandoned child to this skilled healer, from Koga trainee to, reluctant leader.
Yeah.
But it's not over. The attack on the governor's mansion sets the stage for an even bigger challenge.
Oh, no.
One that will test her strength, her compassion, everything.
Wow.
But to understand just how huge this challenge is, we need to dive into the conclusion of Child of Shadow.
So we're back, and wow, that attack on the governor's mansion, it really, it left me shaken. It's such a brutal turning point in Miki's story.
Yeah, for sure.
She's just surrounded by carnage. She's seeing people she cared about, die.
Right.
And it would be understandable, if she went down a path of revenge.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it would make sense. She's lost so much, and now this. It would be easy to just give in to the despair,
right.
to embrace the darkness.
Yeah.
But Miki, well, she's always defying expectations, right?
Right.
I mean, remember Master Arakuni's dying words?
Oh, yeah.
When he urged her to choose healing over revenge. And even in the middle of all this devastation, those words, they become her guiding light.
Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. Even in her darkest hour, she's still holding on to that compassion, to the belief that even when there's so much suffering, there's still hope for healing.
Yeah. It says a lot about her strength.
It really does.
Her commitment to her values.
Totally. And it's such a strong example of the power of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Of choosing to rise above the cycle of violence and hatred.
Exactly. And it really sets her apart from, from people like Satake.
Right.
He's consumed by his desire for power. He'll sacrifice anything to get what he wants.
Yeah.
He just sees Miki's compassion as a weakness.
Of course he does. So it's like this classic clash of ideologies, right?
Absolutely.
Miki, she represents hope, healing,
Yeah, the possibility of something better.
Right. And Satake, he's the dark side of power, the ruthlessness, the ambition.
Yeah.
And this conflict, it plays out in this big way, right? Because Miki, she becomes a fugitive.
Oh, wow.
And she's hunted by Satake and his allies.
I mean, it's like this thrilling chase across feudal Japan.
I know. It's like cat and mouse, full of like narrow escapes and disguises.
Yeah, and unexpected alliances.
Right.
But through it all, Miki's compassion, it never wavers.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, she even risks her own life to save people in need.
Yeah.
Even her enemies.
Wow.
Because she believes that everyone deserves a chance at redemption.
That's incredible. Like, remember that scene where she treats that wounded Iga ninja?
Oh, yeah.
Even though he was sent to kill her?
Oh, no.
That's just like, wow. It's such a powerful moment.
It really is. It shows how much empathy she has.
Yeah.
How she's willing to see beyond the labels and the prejudices that divide people.
It's a profound statement
Mm.
about, suffering and how we're all connected.
Right.
And it challenges us, too, to look at our own biases, our own tendencies to judge.
Yeah. It's this reminder that even when the world is so full of conflict and division, there's always room for compassion.
For understanding.
Right. But even as Miki is embracing this path of healing, her relationships, they're really tested.
Oh, of course.
Mm.
Especially her bond with Hisano.
Yeah, Hisano.
She's so shaped by the Koga code, that loyalty, that need for survival.
Right.
She doesn't understand Miki's choices, like the marriage to Uji. She sees it as a betrayal.
Yeah, I get that.
A compromise.
Yeah. And this creates this rift between them. It's sad, actually.
Yeah, it is. Because it's like this reminder that even the strongest bonds, they can be strained.
And it's a conflict that so many of us can relate to, right?
For sure.
How do we deal with relationships when our values clash with the values of the people we care about?
Exactly.
Yeah. How do we find common ground, but without compromising what we believe in?
Right.
And Miki's forced marriage to Uji, that continues to be a source of tension.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's still immature, right?
Yeah.
And he's often putting her in danger with his reckless actions.
Yeah.
But even with all these challenges, you start to see these little glimpses of growth in him.
Oh, yeah.
He begins to see the world through Miki's eyes.
Mm.
It's
good.
And he recognizes the injustice that people outside of his little bubble are facing.
That's good.
And Miki, she's always the teacher. She uses these moments to teach him valuable lessons.
Right.
About leadership, about compassion, about doing what's right.
It's like this subtle dance between them.
Yeah, but you can see this shift, right?
Yeah.
This growing respect.
Yeah.
This understanding.
And it's a testament to Miki's patience.
It really is.
And her belief in change.
Yeah.
Even in those who seem, totally resistant to it.
Right.
And while she's dealing with all these complex relationships, she's also learning more about her past.
Right.
Uncovering the truth about her mother's strength and the Yorosada legacy. Yeah, and all of these revelations, they give her this deeper understanding of who she is.
Right.
Her place in the world. And this new awareness, it fuels her to create a better future.
Right.
A future that's free from all those rigid social structures.
Yeah.
And from this endless cycle of violence and revenge.
That's beautiful. And this brings us to the climax.
Right.
The confrontation with Satak. It's not just a fight. It's this clash of everything they stand for.
Yeah.
The culmination of all the injustices he represents.
It's like a battle for the soul of the province.
It is. It's hope versus despair. Compassion versus ruthlessness.
Wow. And Miki, she's armed with her skills, her intelligence, and this unwavering belief in humanity.
Yeah.
And she's facing her biggest challenge yet.
The fight, it's brutal. It's a reflection of how brutal that era was.
Yeah.
But Miki's not alone. Her allies, both Koga and Samurai, they come to her aid.
They see her as their leader.
They do. It's a powerful moment. It shows how powerful a shared purpose can be.
Right. The strength that comes from standing together.
Yeah.
And in the end, justice prevails.
Yes.
But it comes at a cost. Sacrifices are made. People die.
Of course. It's a bittersweet victory.
Yeah. It's like this reminder that even when you're fighting for something good, something noble, there's always a price to pay.
Always. But even with all the loss, there's still this sense of hope.
Yeah.
Miki comes out of it stronger and more determined than ever.
Yeah.
She's the embodiment of resilience.
Totally. And so what does it all mean? I mean, Miki's story, it's this powerful reminder that even in the darkest times, even the smallest spark of hope can start a revolution.
That's beautiful.
Right. It's a call to action.
Yeah.
To embrace our own potential for change, to stand up for what's right, and to never, ever underestimate the power of compassion.
Well said.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing deep dive into Am a Child of Shadow.
It really has. We explored so much: identity, loyalty, justice, the power of compassion. And I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to the next chapter in Miki's journey.
Me too. I can't wait to see what happens next.
It's a story that really stays with you.
Yeah.
It makes you think about your own values, your place in the world, the choices you make. Miki's journey, it's a testament to the power we all have to overcome challenges and to create a more just and compassionate world. And her story, even though it takes place in feudal Japan, it really speaks to the challenges we're facing today.
He really does.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. And remember, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
In the El Paso Sergio Troncoso Library, writers gather around. Pavo really call us stories to be found. Pens on paper flowing, ideas come alive. Words that paint a picture.